Hey, I'm playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips from 1929, although I'm playing more of a modern swing version of it. But I'm playing it straight from the charts of the Morristown Uke Jam, so take a link in the video description, download the free ukulele song sheet, and you can tiptoe with me. And if you'll be anywhere near Morristown, New Jersey, come out and play with us. After the song, I'll do a basic tutorial, together with a slow motion close-up play-along you might find helpful. And there are 3 versions of this song sheet. In the song sheet, there are 3 pages. The first page is what I'm going to play. The second page is considerably simpler because it has most of the same chords, but a lot less flourishes. And the third page is considerably easier than the second page because it has a lot less chords and easier chords, and it's basically a beginner version. But they're all in the same key. You could play them with 3 friends, and they'd all be the same. You can play any of them along with me, and they'll all work, and I'll talk about all of them at the end of the song. Now, here goes. 1, 2, 3, hit it! From your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep in flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. If I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, I love that song. Yeah. All right, now I am going to go over actually the beginner version first. So, if you want a tutorial on the performance version, I will post the time that tutorial starts. That is to say, the time in this video that I start that, it's going to be like 10 minutes from now. So the time that tutorial starts, I'll post in the video description. So you can skip this part if that's what you want. But if you're a beginner and you want to see the beginner version and you want to know how to play that, I'll do that right now. So flip to page 3, the simpler version as it's described. All right, first thing, I called it a jazzy swing strum. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want to have to talk about what I did every time. Because I change it every time I play it. I do. You could do that with jazz and swing. You can change it a bit. There are kind of some rules. You have to stay on the same meter, but you can emphasize different places if you want. Now here's something I did almost completely consistently. Instead of a standard strum where you'd have pauses with your right hand, where you would not touch the strings, where you go like down, down, up, down, up, right? Down, pause, up, down, up. Instead, in this one, it's more like this. Now you notice I'm never picking up with my right hand. Instead, I'm dampening with my left. In a few different times. Sometimes I was emphasizing the downstrokes, like a tiptoe through the window, right? Like that. Sometimes it's 1, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. And it's down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Also, frequently I jumped a chord. That is to say, I jumped to a chord earlier than standard 4/4 time would tell me to. Keeping 4/4 would be this. Tiptoe, I'm going to do the performance version so I can show you what I'm talking about. Tiptoe through the window. That's what that would be, right? But instead, what I did was tiptoe to the window. I jumped to it on the up instead of waiting for the down. That would be the 4/4 time. You can do that also in the beginner version. So, what am I going to do? Okay, jazzy swing strum. I'm going to go over the chords now in the verse, and then I'll show you how I do that jump. All right. First of all, the chords look hard. Oh, C minor 7, what is that? No, they're not hard. They're really not. If you can do a B flat, okay, if you can't do a B flat, then this is probably too hard for you. Try a different song first. Come back in a week and try this one then. But if you can do a B flat, you can do this whole song. B flat, then, see where your ring finger is? Drop it. Now, if you have trouble squeezing hard enough, remember you got your thumb back there to help you squeeze, and you can also lay your middle finger on top of it if you want. Make that squeeze good. So tiptoe to the window, and then you drop your first two fingers again, and it's like a B flat, except it's easier because you don't have to put your ring finger down. That's a G minor 7. And then how do I do the E flat? From there, think of this as your stability finger. Your middle finger, you're going to slide it up 1 fret, and there it is. Drop your finger, your ring finger down, and move your index over a little bit, and there's your E flat. And then same thing, or well then no, jump, B flat, F. Okay, and that's it. That's the intro and the first two verses. So I'm going to do those in slow motion with you right now. So, get your ukulele ready? Here we go now. Slow motion. 1, 2, 3, hit it. Sorry. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here comes the verse. Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be gone. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Bridge now. This thing is deep. Now, you notice in the bridge is the only time I don't do that percussive, right? In the bridge, I leave it down hard. I like the bridge to sort of glide, right? It sounds smoother. So, knee deep in flowers we'll stray. We'll keep the showers away. Now you notice from the D minor, all you have to do is move one finger, 1 fret, and you got your G, your F7. Just slide that up, but make the stop dramatic. because the stop puts you into 3 words of a cappella, getting you ready for a kiss. It's supposed to be drama, right? It's supposed to be dramatic. So, we'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. 10th fret. By the way, if you are playing by yourself or with a couple other friends just playing the beginner version, I would skip the instrumental, because the instrumental is just repetitive in the beginner version. In the performance version, you're jumping up and down the neck, and it's fun extra stuff. If you got somebody with a harmonica or a kazoo wants to do something fun on the instrumental, then go for it. But if you're just playing, I would suggest skip the instrumental, go straight back to play the bridge and the second verse, bridge and third verse again, and then finish up on that 10th fret and call it a day. All right, now I'm going to go to the performance version. So if you're not sticking around for that, see ya. If you are joining me now for the performance version, all right, I'm going to do this as if assuming that you skipped the first part. So, jazzy swing strum. What did I mean when I said jazzy swing strum? What I really meant is I don't want to tell you everything I did. Not because I don't want to be helpful, but because I change it every time I play. I do. So what do I do? I do a couple things repetitively, and I do one thing pretty darn consistently. The one thing I do pretty darn consistently is, instead of a normal strum where you do like maybe down, down, up, down, up, down, pause, down, up, pause, up, down, up. Instead of that, here's what my right hand sounds like if I'm not playing chords, right? They're always hitting the strings so that it's more percussive. I rely on my left hand to dampen, and that way it can also tiptoe to the window. My left hand is the one that really runs the show. My right hand is just doing this most of the time. There's an exception. Actually, there are a couple exceptions, but most of the time it's just like that with my right hand. My left hand, though, sometimes does emphasizing the downs. Tiptoe to the window. But then I stopped it, didn't it? Halfway through there, downs, and then it's 1, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's down, up, up. 1, 4, 6. Those are the two most common things that I use. But the truth is, you could shake it up if you want. You want to invent something new? It'll actually work just fine as long as you stay on meter. One other thing I do, though, is I get impatient with a chord. I'll jump ahead like this. Tiptoe to the window. Now, normally it would be, I'd have to wait for the next down strum, right? But I'll do that, where I'll jump ahead. Sometimes. You can do it whenever you please. That's one of the fun things about swing. You can play a little fast and loose with it. All right. Now I think I'm going to go over the chords and the chord transitions in the intro and the verses, and then I'll do a slow motion play along on that part. So here's we go. How am I doing? B flat to a G7. Here are your stability fingers, your first two. You basically just pick up your index finger, but they stay in place, and you go to your G7, right? Now from there, C minor 7, I use my middle finger because it's nice and strong. Clear across to bar it, and then just slide it back 1, and put down your index finger on that. Oh, it only has to touch the G string, but usually I kind of lay it flat on that C minor 6th. G minor 7 is just a slide down. I got this, right? And I'm sliding down and and arcing my middle finger for the G minor 7. And D7 I form this way because my middle finger is already on that fret. So drop it. There's my D7. Slide it around, kind of twist it around to the E flat. Now these two are sort of the stability fingers. They move, but they move sideways together, like that. That's your E flat minor 6. E flat, and it's the first part of the... and then F7. Now the A riff that I called it, all you're doing is messing with the A string. I'm dropping a pinky, dropping the index finger. That's what I want you to hear. Whoops, and I'm playing it badly. That's what I want you to hear. That's the A riff, right? And just messing with the A string, that's all I'm doing. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to play through the intro and the first two verses. Slow motion. Close up here, by the way, the only thing I didn't mention, bounce. A bounce is when you do this. That's a bounce. You just go down one fret and back up. That's a bounce. You don't have to worry about the fact that I move from a B flat to an A. Yeah. But I'm leaving my fingers in exactly the same formation. Sometimes you go off the fretboard like that. Sometimes you don't. But that's what I mean. That's a bounce. And in most of the time in this song sheet, I only had room for a B. So I put a B in brackets. That means bounce. Okay, here we go. Slow motion on the intro now. 1, 2, 3, hit it. That is where I'll become. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. I call that an alternate B flat 7. It is a B flat 7. Normally you'd think of this, but I like the way it sounds better if you just take your B, drop your 7. That's it. Knee deep. Now here's where the strum changes. Not the strum, actually. It's the left hand still that changes. But the bridge I like to play in a glide so that it hangs. So stop with the percussion on your left hand. Hold it down tight. Make sure there's lots of resolution. Resolution? I'm not sure that's the right word. Hang. Lots of hang. Knee deep. Now you see how I did that bounce? This time, instead of just moving this around, I got extra strong finger there, so I just drop it right on the fret and slide it up. Knee deep in flowers, wheels straight, double bounce. Here's the A riff there. He'll keep. So I'm dropping my two little fingers on the 4th and 2nd frets. The showers away. Now you notice the D minor goes just a little slide to an F7 and then a dramatic stop because you got 3 words of a cappella getting you ready for a kiss. It's for drama. So, we'll keep the And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Triple bounce. Now, I'm going to go into the instrumental. Most of it is just or 2/3 of it is a slight change on the standard. But then I go up the neck. I want you to notice, I'm going to be talking about this. What I do up the neck is almost completely either a B flat shape or a closed G shape. Right here's an open G, but you can also do a G like this. Closed G. And a closed D, or a second position D, is like this. Right? And this is a D7. Everything I'm going to do up the neck is one of those shapes, all right? It's either B flat, or it's a G, and sometimes I drop my pinky, or it's a D, and sometimes I go to the D7. You'll see. All right, now the instrumental. With me. Same as the verses. Drop your pinky high. See, it goes. That's the B flat minor 7. Down to the 6. Bounce. Bounce. I do this a little bit different. This is the G minor 7 line. Drop your middle, your ring finger in between the bounce, first and second bounce. That's it. I'm just dropping, and that's it. So again, little two fingers on the fourth and the second. That's that A riff. D minor, bounce at this time. Seven to a 6. Now stay in the B flat shape. 6, 7, 8. And by the way, when I play high, generally speaking, I use my freaky long thumbnail finger because it has a nicer resolution. It has a nicer ring to it. It holds the notes better than if I strum, or it seems to. I would suggest, if you don't have any solid fingernails that you can use like as a pick, still use your index finger as if it was a pick. I'm guessing that if when you're playing high, if you play a single finger against the fingernail, if you play that durably, strongly, it'll probably ring truer than if you use your whole hand trying to strum up high where the strings are so tight. So, all right, now here we go. Jump it up. B flat shape. G shape, B flat shape, D shape on the 10th fret, G shape right there, and then same shape down to the 5th fret. Just drop the pinky, that's all. 6 to the 8th of the B flat. G shape, now a D shape. just doing D and a D7, G. Now I'm going to bounce a little. G, B flat. Up here, D, D7, G, drop the pinky, G, slide all the way down, B flat to the 8th fret and all the way back down to a real B flat. Knee deep in flowers we'll stray. We'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. 10th fret. Now the only two places in the whole song I have hangs, right? The F7, I do a stop. Hours away. And if I kiss you, this is on the second time you do the third verse. There's two hangs, I'll make them dramatic. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. 10th fret. Yeah, have fun. See you Wednesday. Bye.